Hey guys, welcome back to podcast. And today I'm talking episode 404 of Wynonna and Earp with Seraiah. Seraiah, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Seraiah.
Yeah,
I'm from California. That's about it.
it's the
I know
first
we were
person
supposed
I've
to.
met that's an Earper from California. All the other ones are from other places, so it was easier to record because we're in the same time zone.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're not that far from each other,
Yeah.
so it's pretty fun.
All right, so 404, gonna be honest here, with all that's going on in season 4, because it's really jammed packed already for the first half, this is the episode I forget about. Which is weird because a lot of important stuff goes on in this episode, yet I still forget about it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was weird. All right, so we're gonna hop right back in because all these episodes pretty much start like right after the other, and this one especially because the end of 403 it pretty much ends with Wynonna being taken by this group, which we were assuming is Black Badge.
Yeah.
And with the start of 404, we know is Black Badge.
Yeah.
So this new Black Badge office facility thing, Black Badge is back. It's different, and it seems very bureaucratic.
Yeah.
Now, and they're very not into. They're not the same because I really don't remember her name, but the agent that is talking with Wynonna in the beginning, she like kind of is explaining stuff of like what happened and that they don't fight off the demons like they used to. Like they're just kind of in purgatory watching. It was really, and I didn't catch on that until I rewatched it just now.
Oh yeah, I mean, just them having to hide everything that happened in the past and keeping it all a secret from them is just insane. I mean, so much happened for them, and just having to not tell them the truth is just like, you gotta tell them at some point.
Yeah. And then and so also about not telling people what and things changing, Wynonna at Black Badge now is Agent Earp, which we're like, okay, name change, and we know Jeremy had something to do with this. Because Jeremy eventually comes in and is like trying to like eyeball Wynonna, like just go with the lie. We don't want them to know who you actually are.
Yeah.
So Agent Earp, which was funny. And then when Wynonna goes to hug Jeremy, she's like, I don't remember the exact line, but it's like, you don't have chicken limbs anymore. Like he has some muscle on him now.
It was all the shake weights and everything
so
that he was doing with
really
Robin.
Yeah. And so that was opening scene. Now it cuts to this person kind of in this long black coat thing, and you have this pile of rocks, and the person is cutting. We know who this person is later, obviously. Cutting their hand and drips their blood on a picture of Wynonna. So we have this weird blood sacrifice going on. Something is going down, and we're starting the beginning of the episode. So that was interesting, and the rock pile appears multiple times in this episode, and I didn't like think about that and what that meant. And I keep rewatching and I keep finding more stuff out and that I didn't realize because I don't pay attention that much when I watch. So
kind of totally with you on that one.
Yeah. Okay, and then we cut back to the homestead.
Yeah.
Waverly and Nicole are in the kitchen, and Waverly has a PowerPoint.
Her PowerPoint
and notebooks. She got notebooks.
Just I've been, after rewatching that episode, I've always been curious what that. I mean, there were 5 slides on that PowerPoint. So I wonder what she would have
counted the slides.
Yeah, there's like 5 slides. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, why? What are you wanting to talk about for 5 slides? Yeah. And and just was really curious about what were on those.
That's really interesting. And then like they start to go like they start asking each other questions, but their faces are really, really close.
Yes.
And so it's really, really funny. And then of course, Rachel walks in. Rachel has taken the place of Wynonna.
Our new interruptus.
Exactly. It's so funny. And what's even better is Rachel's wearing Wynonna's jacket.
Yeah.
So it's like pretty much just younger Wynonna.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. And then blah blah blah. Oh, and then Rachel leaves, and way how it just starts making out in the kitchen.
Yeah. And
that's one of like
the peacemaker part too, with Nicole saying like, you know, a gun sword thing, and then they're not obviously wanting to tell Rachel that.
Yeah, they don't give Rachel the specifics on everything yet.
Which kind of is shocking because she's been there for 18 months. So I'm just.
Well, I don't think she has. I've been talking with some other people, and like she came back with Nicole after Monument in episode 2 because Nicole broke her leg, but I think at some point Rachel left and then came back.
Ooh.
Because Rachel had said to Wynonna like last episode in 403 that like she'd been alone for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so I think at some point Nicole was actually alone by herself for a while, and then Rachel comes back.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I think that plays in for more of Nicole's PTSD stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Where am I? Okay, and then and I was explaining this earlier, but this is really they talk about it. Cut back to Black Badge, and they're talking, and the lady agent is talking about why BBD is there in purgatory, and pretty much they set up their border thing, and they're there to just observe. They're not killing anything. They're not doing anything to stop the demon monster problem. Yeah. They're just there to watch and figure things out, which is really weird for Black Badge, but since this is new Black Badge, I think there's some underlying things going on that we don't know about.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then there's a Fleabag reference, the show Fleabag. Don't watch that show, so I don't know what's happening.
I didn't get it at all. I didn't know where like
the jumpsuit that Wynonna has to wear when she goes on the mission. Something like that. I didn't know. And it's funny because Wynonna didn't know either. So I was laughing at that because Wynonna's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. It was really funny. And then as Wynonna's walking out to go, suit up for this mission thingy, she pulls out a rock that's in her like pajama pants. And she calls it a surveillance rock and hands it to the security guard.
just so random, like anything you could think of on comedy that's just there,
Yeah, it's just like a rock. Like what?
Like what? I mean, what would they get with the rock? But I mean, exactly. I just thought I like that line. I think
you're gonna like put something into a rock to like
exactly.
And then let's cut to Doc. All right, so Doc's back at Glory Hole, our favorite new demon bar. I love that place so much. It makes me
I think it's such a great addition to the show. It's so fun.
And then he's made his partnership deal with Eamon, who there's some tension between those two. I'm not going to deny it. Eamon is very flirty.
I agree.
Doc likes to go with it. He's playing with this. And yet when Wynonna finally meets Eamon, Doc's like, no, not you two. No.
No.
So
he's funny. Like, hey, sir.
Yeah. You. So funny. So we get them, and then just a little bit with their partnership. And of course, Eamon is now giving Doc blood just to feed on and everything from this partnership and stuff. That's a part of it. Yeah. Now let's cut back to this one real quick scene at BBD with the security guard, the monster who.
I had a question about that too. When I saw that, I was like, how can he see the Reaper with it? Because it's supposed to be the only one that's marked.
No, he couldn't. He didn't know. Because I had to rewatch that, and I thought he did too earlier, and then I was rewatching it because all we see is a shadow.
Oh, that's true.
We don't see anything, and I don't think he sees anything too. I think he like feels something like present, but he still can't see it.
Oh, yeah, I might have to rewatch this episode after we talk about it.
There's just like little things that you have to like pull out. Yeah, so nobody can see this monster unless it is going to attack you, which we find out with Wynonna.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Scrolling through my stuff again.
You're good.
Where am I? Surveillance rock. Oh, there I am. Okay, and then we cut to Rachel and Billy. God, man, I really liked Billy.
I do too. Oh, love him.
Good. He was so good. And they're super cute together, and I like them.
They're so cute.
And what I didn't notice before is, so Billy likes to just collect random things and find them. And they're kind of talking about that. That's what they're in this diner and they're just finding mugs. And one has, it's Bunny Loblaw for PTA. Yeah. And if people don't know, the actress that plays Bunny Loblaw now has a TikTok.
You're lying.
I know. I found that out today.
I definitely gonna go.
I gotta find that now.
I gotta find that.
It's so good. Yeah. So, but and then Billy was talking about stuff. It was a Bring It On reference. Yes. Have you watched Bring It On?
My favorite reference in that entire episode.
Oh, I didn't catch it until today. I was like, oh yeah.
What the first time I saw it that was like my favorite thing. I was like, that's so good. Yes. Yeah. Give me more of it.
I love Bring It On. And then another reference, but this is a more important reference, is Billy gives Rachel this jacket, and it has fur on the inside. I didn't catch this until now because I read the comics now. I've been reading the comics. That fur jacket very much looks like the one that Valdez wears in the comics.
Oh.
Yeah, if you ever look at pictures of Valdez in the comics, she wears a jacket that looks extremely similar.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Interesting.
I know, and I didn't find that until today because I hadn't read the comics before, and now I know. So I'm hoping this jacket comes back.
Huh. I hope it does too. It's really cute.
It looks good. All right, okay, we're cutting back to BBD now. Jeremy and Wynonna go into the little corner thing to hide from the security camera, but Wynonna's like, you know what? We can make out. That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I miss it. Let's do it.
Jeremy's like, still gay. No. Yeah. And so they're trying to figure some things out, and Jeremy's like, you need to help be in Black Badge because we need your help. And so Wynonna's like, fine, I'll do it, whatever. And then, where am I? Oh, I don't know. I wrote some things down that I forgot because I watched it really earlier today.
I finished it like this morning.
I was like a few hours ago I watched it. We get to a scene, and I think.
Oh, it's the
There's another rock stack thing that appears, and I don't know where it was.
That's with Billy and Rachel walking back.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we see another one of those, and now I'm thinking that these are like marker things, like and stuff like that. Don't know exactly for what yet, but that's what I'm assuming. Now we cut back to Way Hot, but this time they're on the kitchen floor.
Oh. Floor.
Too many good scenes.
Take it to the bed, could you?
No, it got too hot too quick. Too hot too quick. Just like the stairs. They couldn't make it all the way up the stairs. They had to stop right in the middle of them.
And that's okay. We support and we stand.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care where it happens. And then so Waverly and Nicole are talking and stuff, and they're talking about the PowerPoint, and so Nicole's like talking down on herself or whatever, and Waverly's like, you know what? If I made a PowerPoint about you, it'd be called Hot Topics. And
can we please have that be made in the next vlog?
To be made.
I want to see it.
So good. And then Waverly asks about the proposal again, and Nicole avoids the whole situation and just starts making out with Waverly again.
Props to them. Good for you. I just want them to talk about things, and I hate that they're hiding it.
Talk it out, Nicole. Something's with Nicole, and I don't like it. I need some explanation from you specifically.
It's just like every time I watch that too, like that scene specifically, I'm like, why can't, like, yay, keep it going, but like, why can't you just talk about everything and then go to that?
Exactly.
Hiding it, because that's going to tear her down even more. And it's going to be frustrating.
Not helping if you keep it in.
No.
And then, of course, Rachel interrupts again.
We love that.
And this time, because Rachel wants to go back and find Billy. So she's like, let's go to this junkyard where Billy lives.
Yeah. Let's go find Peacemaker.
Yeah. And so they all go to the junkyard. They're driving in Waverly's Jeep. Now, we're going back to BBD. Jeremy shows Wynonna Anthony, the nice, really big gun.
I want Anthony.
We love a Queer Eye reference. All the shows that they are referencing this whole season are great.
Yes, I agree.
And Wynonna goes on a mission with this other dude who's kind of weird. And they're delivering food, other stuff, and booze. And Wynonna's like, you should have started with booze. Would have gone if you just said booze in the first place.
Yeah.
And then we have a Carol reference.
Yes, so good.
And that was like it wasn't even like with Way Hot, it was with Wynonna. Like you'd think like with Carol it would be like a Way Hot thing, but it was Wynonna.
No.
I was like, and she was like, you don't make Kate Blanchett something, you make her Carol.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
I am Carol, like, period. Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So then Wynonna goes off with that guy to go deliver food and stuff. Now, Waves, Nicole, Rachel arrive at Magpie Ranch. And Rachel immediately goes off to find Billy. And then we get the wonderful line of sexy gay ants. Even though it's weird because the relationship with Nicole and Rachel is much more maternal.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was, with Waverly, I understand it because Waverly doesn't know her as much, but with Nicole, I was like, but it was still funny.
I agree. I totally, I think it's funny that they did that, but I also do agree that I see Rachel and Nicole as a mom-daughter relationship, not more of like, this is my niece.
Yeah.
I can't, like, yeah. And even like with it's just like, no, I can't really unsee that.
Yeah. All right, now, while we're at Magpie Ranch, Waverly immediately starts to look around.
Yeah.
And she gets to this, I think it's a barn thing, I don't know. And we see the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Waverly obviously can't see it. They're face to face.
Yeah.
And Waverly can't feel anything. And Margot Clanton, Ma'am Clanton, comes out and is like, don't go in there. And Waverly's like, okay, geez, all right, old lady, calm down. And so they go in, and that's Margot takes them to go look for this Peacemaker, which Margot doesn't know what exactly they're looking for. And then we get Wynonna has another rock, finds another rock in her jumpsuit thing, and she looks at it, and she realized, and they're like, this isn't BBD. Like, or I think she shows Jeremy or whatever, and Jeremy's like, this isn't BBD Tech.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And so she goes and calls Waverly later, and they talk about it. Now, come back to Magpie Ranch. They're in a house room thing, I don't know. And they start looking for stuff, and Waverly's like, do you have any silverware? Like, a sword is silverware. That makes sense. Finally, they get to the actual sword part. And what does Margot say? She's like,
a sword, like looking, storming a castle, looking like.
Oh yeah, and then this is another great show reference, guys. Nicole's like, it's a Halloween costume. I'm going as She-Ra. Oh yeah.
I would die too, Waverly. Yes.
I love that show.
It's so good. That was so good.
It's a good one. And then, so Waverly gets the call from Wynonna about the rock. So Waverly steps outside. And then we get this scene between Margot and Nicole. They know each other. This is where we find out. Because you could feel the tension before when they got there. But now we get a conversation between them, and they know each other. Mm-hmm. And we know, based off their conversation, that Nicole made some sort of deal with Margot. There's something that happened between them during that year and a half. Mm-hmm. We don't know exactly what it is. Now, while Wynonna and Waverly are talking.
Hold on 1 second.
Go.
Yes, Mom. Okay, Mom. I've been in deep cleaning mode. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Mom. Yes. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm back. Hi again, Mom.
Okay, where were we? Oh, so Waverly and Wynonna talking on the phone about the rock and stuff. And so Waverly's like, yay, research. A little whisper, because she hasn't done it in so long.
Exactly.
And so that's great. And then so Waverly's like, yeah, I'll figure out what it is. And Wynonna's like, great. Then Waverly walks by and we see the same symbol. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty much the same thing. We see the sign at the ranch, which is this like C, and we know it stands for Clantons, obviously. We learn this also later. So they're doing something now. And then Wynonna in the truck, it gets stopped. They run over some spikes, they get a flat tire. The dude driving runs because he doesn't want to deal with this. And it turns out the truck was stopped by Doc, who is wearing bandit gear with his bandana over his face and cowboy hat.
Very old Western look for him,
yeah.
You know?
And then we get back to Magpie Ranch, and Rachel and Billy are talking out, and they're kind of getting this fight where like Rachel's like, I had a crush on you, and you're trying to stay away from me, and that's because Billy is a Clanton. Rachel's kind of an Earp, not really, but she's hanging out with them, so that's good enough for ma'am.
Yeah.
And so Billy's like, I can't be with you. Like, I want to, but I can't. But he doesn't express that very well, and Rachel gets upset, and he's like, I fucked this up.
Yeah.
And so Rachel goes over to Nicole and Waverly and is like, let's go, let's leave. And Nicole's like, yeah, whatever you want. Once again, very motherly.
Yeah, definitely not aunt, very mom.
Yeah.
Mommying her.
Now, let's cut back to Wynonna and Doc. They start talking, and they're kind of arguing about why are you working with Black Badge, and like, well, why are you doing whatever you're doing? And Doc says something, rule number 1 is blah, 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 and Wynonna's like, rule number 1 is triple check the birth control. Great line.
That's so good.
So good. And then we get special sexy tension between Doc and Wynonna inside the truck because Wynonna handcuffs herself to the crate of booze because Doc would take it to go to Glory Hole, where Wynonna's like, no, this needs to go into the town. So Wynonna handcuffs her stuff to the crate. And they started talking, and Doc's like, I'm going to go to my truck and get some tools for this.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Let's blah, blah, blah. Oh. And then we got back to Billy, but this time, since Rachel left, Billy's with Ma'am, Margot. And so Ma'am is like, don't make me reap that girl. Now we know these monster things are reapers, which is a weird term, and makes it more scary than it is. At least in my head. Like,
how evil, like, minded Ma'am is, just with everything.
Crazy. She is something else. She's hell-bent on getting revenge. Then Wynonna gets another rock. She finds another one. But this time, she is still in the truck, by the way.
Yeah.
This time, the Reaper's there at the truck. Doc's gone, isn't there. And, of course, Wynonna can see the Reaper because we know the Reaper's going after Wynonna. But Wynonna has this feeling, one, very terrified of what's going on. And that is because she's like, she says something like, we know each other. Like, you know me, I know you. Even though they actually don't really know each other, they have this sense of connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes her more terrified.
Yeah.
And then another thing I noticed, of course, is obviously there is a connection between the rock and the Reaper, because we also see the Clanton C symbol on the forehead, right in the middle of the Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
So we know he's working with Clantons and this rock thing. So Billy goes after Rachel, fighting for your girl. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel's in the barn, and so they're doing stuff. Of course, this is Wynonna's jacket, so Rachel pulls out a rock, and Billy freaks out. He's like, "No, they can't be going after you." But they don't realize he doesn't know it's Wynonna's jacket, so it's not really for Rachel. So, and then while Waverly's inside the house, Waverly figures out that the C symbol is for the Clantons, and she's like, the Clantons are back in purgatory. And my thing is like, they're back in purgatory, or did you just not know they were there the whole time?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they've set up shop there for a while.
Yeah. And with them being gone for those 18 months, they probably had no clue, let alone probably didn't know what they looked like.
Exactly.
So that's probably why they were like, they're here? Since when? So
yeah. And then okay. And then we cut back to Wynonna, who escaped the truck and has been running away. She gets into this circle thing with all these rock stack things surrounding. It's kind of in the shape of the circle. What I didn't notice is, I think this was the line, I couldn't really hear it well, is Wynonna says it's the killing floor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she does say that.
So she knows this place,
Mm-hmm.
which is really weird because we haven't seen this place before. At least I don't think so.
No.
So it's weird that Wynonna knows what it is. But so she's stuck in this circle thing, like it has trapped her and she can't get out. Very similar to when Eve was stuck in that thing in the garden, in that underground thingy. It kind of reminded me of that. Doc finally comes back, finds Wynonna. He can come in the killing floor and was like, "What's going on?" Because Doc can't see anything.
You know what I just thought of? Okay, in 312, the stairs, how Waverly couldn't go out of that, but Doc could.
Yeah. Does that have something? I was thinking that too. Like, is that a similar situation that's going on here?
Huh. I think about interesting.
Yeah. And so, of course, Doc can't see the Reaper that's coming after Wynonna, but Wynonna can. So she's like, Doc, shoot at. Doc's like, I don't know where to shoot. What are you talking about? So they point their guns together. It's like very cute and like that. And they shoot the Reaper. The Reaper goes down. They think everything's fine, but no. Reaper's not dead. I mean, it's technically already dead, but you can't kill with a regular gun.
Yeah.
Come on, you should know it's supernatural, Wynonna.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after that, they escape because Doc killed. I can't.
Doc kicks the rocks.
Yeah, Doc kicks the rocks over. I was like, it was that easy to get out. Like Wynonna could have done that easily before.
Yeah. But I mean, just the way that even Melanie portrayed that scene, looking like how terrified Wynonna was for her life. Like, I don't think we've ever really seen
that's
Wynonna that terrified. Yeah.
She's like extremely afraid for her life in a way we have not seen before.
Definitely.
Like, she's scared. So they escape, and then cut back to Billy in the barn with Rachel. By this time, Nicole and Waverly have come in. Billy, thinking that a Reaper has been sent after Rachel, takes out a big-ass molar from the back of his mouth. Like, that root was so long.
I mean, just when he pulled it all out, too, it just looked
It was gross.
For, Billy, who did play Billy,
Yeah, I like how his name is also Billy.
Billy. Just how long he kept that in his mouth, I just props to him for that.
That is fair. And also, he was props to him in 406, because he came back in 406.
Yeah.
So he did good in that too, for the small scene he was in. So he pulls out his tooth, like sacrifices himself to save Rachel.
Yeah.
He's like, I really like you, but I can't hang out with you, so I'm gonna save you and pretty much kill myself later is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so Wynonna's talking to Doc, and she's like, you can really tell Wynonna understands this Reaper. Like there's like this mutual feeling. My dog is barking his head off.
It's okay.
I'm gonna control this. Give me 1 second.
No, you're totally fine.
I need to check what he's doing. No.
That's okay. My dogs do that too.
He's insane. Okay.
Or my dogs, it's okay. My dog is scared of the wind.
All right. So anyway, back, Wynonna and this Reaper really understand each other, which is really interesting. Like that they're how much the Clantons and the Earps are still connected after like how many years of them not having any contact with each other.
Yeah.
So, and then Billy is talking with Rachel and Nicole and Waverly and stuff, and reveals that Mam, Cleo, and Holt, to the rest of the group, because we kind of already know, are Clantons. So we know they're all affiliated together because they're family.
Yeah.
The dynamics between like the whole Clanton family is really weird because they're all really different, and they all have like their different goals and stuff about like what they want to do in purgatory, because they're not all the same.
No.
And then Billy keeps talking, and he's like, the Reaper is controlled by the Clantons, obviously, because he's like, they sent it after her. This is how this works, you know? And then Billy keeps talking, and he finally says that why not, like, the person who is being attacked by a Reaper, they're trying to be killed by one, is the only one that can see it, which we obviously knew from the rest of the episode, but now Billy's like, this is what's going on. You can't see them. Mm-hmm. But only the person who's gonna die is. Mm-hmm. And Rachel really wants to save Billy here, because she knows Billy kind of sacrificed himself for her, and she's like, no, we have to do something. And they're like, and the rest of the gang, because they're in the house now.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are like, no, we can't do anything. And so Rachel storms off, and Wynonna's like, leave her be, let her figure her thing out. Now, let's go back to Magpie Ranch. Billy is there chained up like the Reaper we saw before. And Margot's like, you brought this on yourself, boy. And the Reaper that we see before comes out and turns him. Mm-hmm. Billy's dead or Reaper. We aren't really sure at that point.
Yeah.
So it's very scary and very sad. And I really liked Billy, and now he's dead. So
really loved Billy. What a good character.
He's so good. Can they turn back human? Is that possible?
I really hope they can. Please. I mean, you're obviously going to talk about 406, but isn't he just still stuck down in the basement?
Yeah, exactly. So. And then we go into the Clanton house. This is a weird scene in general. It creeps me out a little bit. So we find out that Cleo, who has a little bandage wrapped around her hand, sent the Reaper after Wynonna. She was the one who did it. But Holt, the new sheriff, don't care. he says that you sent Uncle Ike after Wynonna. Now, people, this is important.
Very.
If people don't know the lineage of Clantons. Ike Clanton was the original Clanton from the OK Corral. So these Reapers are ancestors of the Clantons.
Yeah.
So how many more are there?
Exactly.
Like, there could be so many.
And we wouldn't even know.
Exactly. Because we only know this one, Ike. Which is crazy. And just like I said before, they're having this dinner, very weird family dinner. Margot's crazy because she's hell-bent on revenge. She's like, you ruined the plan, blah, 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 blah. And Cleo's like, we did, but they were back. We should just do something. And Holt has nothing. He wants nothing to do with this anymore, which is respectable, but I still don't like him.
Yeah.
Then they do this cult chant thing.
Their prayer or whatever. Who knows what that is?
Ew, no.
It makes me uncomfortable listening to it every time.
I don't even remember what they said.
Neither do I.
I didn't want to listen to it.
It's uncomfortable. Just edit it. Please never say it again.
Exactly. I was like, no, I don't want to hear this ever. And I don't think we do anymore because by the end of 406, it's only Cleo, so.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants to pass that on because I think she was traumatized after that night.
Not only that, but she even said, she's like, do we really have to keep saying this? It's never worked for any other planet.
Exactly. Like,
so
she obviously doesn't enjoy it.
No.
Right, then we go back to Wynonna. She storms back into Black Badge and is like, because first of all, while in the house, she's like, we need to get our nerd back. So she's going after to get Jeremy back. Ugh. Love our Jer Bear, which was another great nickname from this episode.
I love Wynonna and Jeremy's relationship.
They're so good.
Seasons. Just
so good.
So good.
So Wynonna goes back to Black Badge, goes to that ancient lady, and she's like, my name is Wynonna Earp. Says her full name, and she's like, I am the best demon hunter Black Badge ever saw. And so she's like trying to she's like, I'm gonna kill demons and I want my team to come back and I need Jeremy. So the agent lady's like, well, Jeremy, this is up to you. And Jeremy's like, you know what? Yeah, I am going back. This was like a big pep talk, motivational speech thing.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So Jeremy is now back with the team. Not all good at first in the next episode, though. There's some tension.
No, yeah.
Which is I did not like it. No, but I understand why it happens. Then, to end this episode.
No!
This was not fun to watch. I don't like it, and I
hate it.
Don't like it. Nicole goes back to Magpie Ranch to go talk to Margot. I'm going to call her Margot because ma'am is weird.
Yeah.
So they get talking, and Margot's like, hey, you need to finish our deal. Mm-hmm. We don't know what this deal exactly is.
No.
And she's like, I got Waverly and Doc out of the garden. Big reveal, first of all.
Yeah.
Because, we remember from 402 is those doors kind of just opened for them, and so they went through those doors. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes sense that Margot would be the one to do that. Mm-hmm. And Nicole's obviously like, no, you didn't do it. They got themselves out by themselves. Like, they did it themselves. Mm-hmm. And so there's this jar that Nicole gives back to Margot. I hate this jar. Don't like it
so much in fashion.
Gross. Anyways, so Margot takes the jar that Nicole had, opens it, and what comes out, I don't know exactly, but it's a big swarm of bug things. And they surround Nicole, and then they end up going inside her. This is some exorcist demon.
This is Green Mile, I don't want it.
Yeah, this was gross. And that's where the episode ends.
What a crazy cliffhanger
this episode. It really sets up the Clantons, and their whole spiel thing, especially Margot, the crazy one.
Definitely.
So I just can't believe I keep forgetting this episode.
You know, and it's like such a weird episode to be in the middle, like, of everything. But it does give us such a good start to what's gonna happen with like the last two of the block. So
it's a big setup.
Yeah, definitely. It gives us a lot of like
to think about
into the Clantons alone, and then just for like, let alone like Cleo and Holt and Billy's characters. It's just a lot.
You kind of in this episode, like, we were introduced. Obviously, this episode we're introduced to Mam and Billy. We already knew about Holt and we already knew about Cleo.
Yeah.
But we kind of understand like where they are within the Clanton, and like they're obviously not all on the same page with kind of what the Clantons are out to do, because Margot obviously wants to keep their legacy alive and wants to get revenge on the Earps, while Holt's like, not really, I don't care. Cleo, I'm not really sure about. I don't think she likes Wynonna in the first place, but I don't think she's on the same page as Margot.
No, I agree with that.
And then Billy is a kid and doesn't want nothing to do with anything. He just wants to live his life.
Yeah.
And now he's a Reaper, so. It's so upsetting. Margot is so controlling.
I know.
Let him have a life.
How dare she control him?
She should have been like, okay, Billy, now you can infiltrate them and we'll figure out how to do shit. That's what should have been done so Billy could stay alive.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm so sad what they did to his character, because he's just, it was such a nice little, like,
it was nice for Rachel to have something.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, all she had was the mouse or whatever was going on.
Yeah.
Those.
And what was it? When they were walking alone, like back to wherever, Rachel was like, yeah, my only, like, I had one time I was living where my bathroom and my kitchen were the same place.
Yeah.
I was like, see, she needs you. She needs you.
They're so like, they were so similar in their like, and they're different too. I just like, I just loved their chemistry together.
Yeah, same.
So good.
It's 4-4, and then 405 is where things start getting real crazy.
Ooh.
It's 405 really hits the fan. And that episode is weird.
All or nothing up in there.
Yeah, exactly.
All or nothing.
All right.
Too much.
404 done. Let's get in to the general stuff, the fandom. So, when did you find Wynonna Earp? When did you start watching the show?
So for me, I started in March around quarantine. The way I found it, I was watching what was I watching? I was watching a video on YouTube, and it was two girls, and they were doing like they were watching a Way Hot Supercut type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like, Drunk Lesbians Watch. That's what I was watching.
Yeah.
That's where I saw it, because I was watching a lot of their other stuff, and I like the people that like the hosts for it, because that obviously BuzzFeed. I love BuzzFeed. So I came across that, and I saw that, and I said, what is the show? I need to know more. Where is it coming from? And so obviously, like, I didn't have Netflix, and I didn't know where it was coming from at the time. So when I got my Netflix account, I saw it on there, and I was like, all right, I gotta watch it. It was probably one of the first like shows I watched on my account. And I was like, I'm hooked. This is it. Period. Like, this is the show for me. I'm here for it. I'm like, I can't critique anything about it, because it's just so good.
Too good.
It's right up my alley with like everything I would like to have in like a movie or a TV show. And that's it.
I just similar. I found it through a reaction kind of thing on YouTube.
So good.
So now we met Ish on TikTok first. So we're gonna get into that Earp talk. You're generally in it, generally not. You kind of do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
How much do you pay attention to Earp talk?
You know, It's on my, it never is, it's rarely on my For You page, you know, it's just rarely in there. And if it is, it's usually people that I follow, and it's stuff that they, like people that they follow, like their accounts, and then it'll pop up.
Yeah.
And so, or it'll just be like a bunch of other like queer shows or anything like that, or just like other like couples that are in different shows, and it'll be all mushed together, or just the actresses alone or the actors. It'll be in those videos. But when it comes to like my like here's all the people that you follow, and here's what they've posted for the day, you know, and it'll pop up on a lot of my stuff. But I watch I watch what they post, and I'm like, I love it. I love what they post on there. I think it's great. I'm like, yes. The one that Sci-Fi said, what's like a cult but is not.
Oh, yeah.
How dare you call it something like that?
Oh, it's so funny.
And I said, I take that in full responsibility. Yes.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I'm here for it. If you want to call us a cult, go for it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You see how much stuff we do within like the fandom, and just for Wynonna Earp in general, like people deep dive this show and like find the littlest things and do everything and make up these theories. I'm like, one, that's insane. I don't know how you do that.
The amount of time that people take to look.
Yeah, I don't have the time to do that.
Where does your time come from? Because I know we're on the same amount of time. Where is it coming from for you?
Yeah, I like surface level watch this show just for enjoyment, and they just go in. I'm like, oh, how'd you come up with that? And then they point out things. I'm like, I don't remember that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't remember it.
On Twitter, because my Twitter, like my timeline, just all of it. And I'm just like, how do you people come up with a lot of that stuff? Because I look back and I'll watch what they theorize, and I'm just like, where does that come from? Because I want to know. I want to be on the same page as you.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I was like, my Twitter presence is pretty much non-existent, but I still go on Twitter to just like keep up with things. And so stuff that comes up within the fandom and people like come up with stuff, I'm like, how did you think of that? Like, how did you connect those dots? Like, it's insane. Now, another thing, I had done an Instagram live like a week or so ago. Seraiah came on, and we were talking everything, and you're going to an Earp con.
I am.
Later this year. You're going to the one in Ohio, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Earpapalooza. Or since it's going to be on Halloween, they're going to call it Earpapalooza. So,
ooh.
I know.
Didn't they do it on Halloween another year?
I think so. I think
Melanie dressed up as the main character from that movie she was in. Why don't I remember the name?
She dressed up as one of the girls she dressed up as the main character from Ready or Not, and that's where I was like,
I wanted to see that movie and I never did.
Oh, you're missing out. So good. It's so crackhead energy. If you like Mel's crackhead energy, period. That's it. That's it.
Good. That's what I was hoping for. I've seen the trailers. I was like, this looks great.
I mean, every actor that was on that, Adam Brody, like it was like, this is all I could ask for in a comedy horror movie. It's so good.
Yeah, no, so that'd be fun to see.
Oh yeah.
And so that means I hope like the people who are attending the con dress up too, whether it's cosplay from the show or just other stuff in general.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
I know. I have to start getting mine ready, so I'm very excited to start. I've never cosplayed before, but I'm like really want to get into it.
Can you say what you're cosplaying as?
I am going to be cosplaying as Miss Nicole herself from 402. So 402. I will be dyeing my hair. Let me tell you that.
Wow, commitment.
I know. I was like, should I cut it? Should I not? We are not.
Now, is this 402 the beginning of 402?
The end. The end. Right, the reunions.
Okay. So the camo jacket, beanie.
Yeah, the green beanie, which I do have. I have the green beanie.
I need to get myself one of those.
They're all sold out. I'm very sad. I want to get the burgundy one that she wears.
Pre-order. They're probably like, how the hell did this sell out?
She said the same thing too when we met her. She's like, I wish we should have told them that this is gonna sell out so
should have prepared them for this.
Yeah.
So what con you did? The Earp Curse con.
Yes.
And you did a group call with Kat Burrell.
No. Okay. So I did. Which one did I did one with Martina. I did a group call with Martina.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that one was.
Oh, that was. And then this one was Dream It.
Right? Yeah, this one was Dream It Con. So this was the one that was for the France, the European.
Yeah. Europe.
Yeah. So I did that one with. The one I did with Martina was like 30 people, and it was like 25-30 minutes with Martina, and it was a really nice conversation. We got through everybody, like who was in the, she wanted to know all of us, and so she's like, introduce yourselves, where you're from, and how you started the show, because I feel like that's like a big thing that the actors want to know is like how you got into the show.
Yeah, because people find it in so many different ways.
Yeah. And so, I mean, a lot of people that like do the cons too, they'll tell, like, they like tend to be like, oh, I saw it during quarantine and all that stuff. But you know, like, you can't do anything. Just like at home.
Yeah, it's like, I like a lot of this, like the time off in quarantine, allowed people to find a lot of different shows and just start watching other stuff. Like I started watching She-Ra during quarantine. That's when I watched it. And I Avatar came out, Legend of Korra came out. I watched those for the first time.
Yeah.
So I like a lot of people during quarantine watch this show and have joined the fandom and are just into the show as everybody else, which is really amazing.
Yeah. And that one was really, I was one of the last people to introduce myself, and I bought a bucket hat at Disneyland. This tie-dye bucket hat, and I just decided just to wear it, and because I was gonna be going out for that the remainder of the day. I was just gonna go do some stuff, and she's like, I really like your hat. And I'm like, thanks, girl. I got it at Disneyland, downtown Disney. You know, I just hit it up every now and then because I'm like an hour away from it.
Yeah.
And so obviously same for you.
Yeah.
You know, right next to each other. And I was like, if you want, I will bring you one.
If we ever meet, I'll get you one.
I'll get you one. And
you want mine? Like, you can just have mine. I'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you. Right,
I'll mail it.
Tell me I'm fine without it. You can have it. I was like, I'll give you one. And she kind of disregarded it, but I DM'd her later that day, and I was like, if you really want a bucket hat, let me know. I'll go get you one. You don't have to tell me twice. Like, I'll go and get one right now and send it to you wherever you're at.
She's like, oh.
Still haven't seen that DM, and I'm very sorry. I'm probably gonna end up getting her one anyways, or give her mine.
Like, I don't know if you remember me, but you liked my bucket hat from Earp Curse Con when we were on a group call. I got you one. Yeah,
and I'll probably end up giving her mine because I like mine, but I don't have anything to wear it with because it's just bright colors. Yeah, and I feel like she could pull it off better than I can. So I'll probably just give it to her and be like, here, this is, you know, I got myself
another one. No, I didn't, but you don't need to know
don't
that.
Don't worry about it anyways. It's okay. But yeah, and then I mean, just a sweetheart. This for her being her age and doing like this.
It's amazing, right?
So her maturity, just it makes for someone who wants to go into like the acting industry and everything, or like for me, since I'm in college, it'd be like major for me. It's just, you know, it's insane like how grown up she is for her age, and it shows in the characters that she'll be playing. I hope that she gets more roles.
No, it was really interesting because I was talking with some other Earpers, like the addition of Rachel in the show and having a younger character, I like was really important for like the younger audience. Like in the show, she's my age.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I might be like a year older. I think she's 16. I'm almost 18. I have a couple months. So okay. Like we're around the same age. So I was like, and anybody who's like younger than any of the main actors and actresses, like we have someone else to connect to. But she fits in, like even though she's younger, she fits in so well. Like the character and Martina like just fits in with everybody so well that I think she is just a great addition to the show and should be on there forever.
I really hope Just give it to me, please. Come on. But I mean, just like you can tell, like her character is she's just a pure human being. She's so sweet, and she's just I loved her energy on that call. It was really nice, and answering the questions that were being asked by people, and obviously with a lot of people at the time it was by fast, and you can't answer every question, but with the questions that were asked, it was really nice. And for that one, she was wearing one of the shirts from the show. Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember which shirt it was?
The one from that end scene in 403, that pink shirt with like the purple writing on it. Mm-hmm. That's the shirt she was wearing.
That's nice.
It was so cute. And I think someone had asked if that was from the set, and she said, yeah, it was. I was like, that's legit. Okay. Didn't know if they could take that. But yeah, she's just an all-around sweetheart, and she's supposed to be coming to Earp, so I'm gonna be really excited about her. So it'll be interesting. And then for Kat, fastest 5 minutes of my life.
Yeah, it was only 5 minutes. That's insane.
And then that one was for Dream It Con. That was both cons that I went to were last minute openings that were left open, and I was just like, anybody want to do it? Like, I'm an impulsive person, so I just like, anybody want to do it? I'll pay for you. Let's do it, because I wanted to do it with me. And so I was just like, why not? But just I love her. Oh, she was so cute.
I know.
She's such a sweetheart too. Like, we talked about, like I told you on the live that you did. We talked about the beanies, because me and my friend were both wearing the same one, and I'm very excited to see her when I go to Ohio. So for that one, she recognized that we were wearing the beanies, and she was like, "Oh, you guys are wearing them." That's when I told you she should have like told the company that we were gonna sell them out. Like everything was sold out the last time I think I was on there. I was like, "That's insane, cool."
So funny.
But she had asked us what we call them, because obviously we call them the beanie, but for the Canadian term, because they are a Canadian product, they call them a toque.
That's so weird. Where does that come from? I don't even know.
I don't know. I thought it was really funny. I think it's such a funny name.
Weird.
But I mean, like, but I just think that's cool that they call certain things a little differently than how we would call it. Because you see it, I would never call that a toque. I'd call it a beanie or like a hat.
No, it's a beanie. It's a hat.
And then same thing that Martina asked us. She asked us, she's, "How'd you guys get in the show?" And that 5 minutes went like that with that, and it just, it would just. I feel like we didn't obviously with the 5 minutes you can't get a lot in, but I still I would love to redo that conversation, but with how money goes with everything. But, and she is doing it. She's doing GalaxyCon, so the amount 110% from Kat, just all and constantly, just how much effort and time she puts into the cons, and just I applaud her for having that much energy to talk to us, because that's a lot. And the fact that people want to she has to add days shows a lot that she's like, all right, yeah, that's fine, and wanting to give her time to us. And so I think that's a really inspiration to actors that want to talk to the fans. I think that shows a lot of their what they want, why they're doing what they're doing, and it's for us. And I think that's just thank you. Are you kidding me?
I know, it's insane.
I love it. I definitely take that to heart, and I just always consider that it's their time that they're giving to us.
Yeah, they're they all do so much within the fandom, just for us, outside of the show. Obviously they give us this show and they do so well in this show, but they spend their time outside and they interact on social media and they do these cons and they always want to do more and meet everybody they can and stuff like that. And I applaud them, because that's a lot of work and that's a lot of time and it's a lot of energy and it's a lot of stress to meet a bunch of people and have meaningful conversations while you're reading them, even though you have so many other people in line they want to spend as much time as possible with people, and that's
oh yeah, definitely
amazing. No,
and yeah, I just have to like, and like everyone's like, this is her season. I totally agree, this is her season. Are you kidding me? Like this is it. Like Melanie had like season 2, that was it for her being pregnant for that. Are you kidding me?
Insane.
And then for Dom's personal journey through season 3, like that's her season, like that was it. But like this is like Kat's season.
Yeah.
Like this is it. This set the bar for a lot of actors.
She goes through like, Nicole as a character goes through so many levels, and there's so much buildup of the character that we don't see because of that 1.5-year time jump. And so I'm hoping we get back into that. I'm hoping there's flashbacks. I say this pretty much every time I talk about it. Like, I always want to go back. I want to see what happened. What did she go through? Because it's really important for her character, because you see so much of a change between the before and the after. And you see it's done stuff to her. Like, she has trauma, and I'm calling it PTSD because that's what I think it is.
No, I agree.
And she avoids talking about it because it probably brings up too much emotion and stuff like that. And so I think to play that, and I wonder like if Emily and her talked about the background and what went on with Nicole, or if she doesn't know and she has to play it without it.
Yeah.
To play it without that information, I'm assuming would be really hard because you don't know what's going through the character's mind.
Mm-hmm.
So like if she didn't know, that makes it like 10 times better because she's really acting and trying to figure things out. And then obviously, because it's really funny with 405 and 406 with the frogs. The stories around those frogs is really funny. But like having to deal with frogs and then also acting serious at the same time is also pretty hard, I would assume, because those frogs are probably going to go everywhere and you're trying to throw them up at the same time. So, I mean, it's insane. I said this before, if I could get her on the podcast, I would.
Oh yeah.
Am I going to ask at some point? Definitely.
Oh yeah.
And I saw another Wynonna and Earp podcast, the Why Not podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they the person who knows about the show surprised their girlfriend with like a thing from Kat Burrell, and that episode doesn't come out till like next week for them. So I'm like, if they can get her on and they just started, I can too.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say go for it. There's no shame in trying, and like I would just like, for anyone that tries, like obviously for the people that want to do a podcast like this, I say go for it. I'd say
enough of a following, I'm okay.
Why not?
More people are gonna watch if she's on, so advertising.
But yeah, I mean, like, why not? Like, go, like, I don't see a harm in asking anybody. Like,
exactly. I'll ask Martina.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we don't know a lot about Martina. I'd love to have her on and just talk about stuff.
I wanted to ask her about her major since she was in college. I was very curious to see if she was going to be going into like music, because obviously she does music. Her music is fire. I love her music so much. It's just on repeat constantly. But
and she also like sings for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, she's the national anthem singer. I was like,
what a great career.
How do you get that job?
Yourself.
How do you get that job?
Just insane, like already like set, like her foot was in the door for a career like that she has at her age. Like, yeah, you're set for life at this point. You're good.
Yeah, like how do you get yourself in that position? And I know I was watching something and she's like, I've kind of done singing and stuff. She's done it since she's little and she's grown up doing that stuff. So she's always been in that position and stuff like now, but she's taken her position just in entertainment in general because she's already done singing and music. And she's like, I'm going to try acting. So for like Wynonna Earp to be her first show, and like, I think that's cool because like the show has a lot of support from the fans and we love to get to know the actors and everything. I think like that's just really cool for like someone joining like in the middle of a show. Like, this is like the 4th season. So we already have this developed show. somebody new comes in and we're just like invested in each actor and what they do outside of the show too. Like all the actors have done other shows and other work, and a lot of times we follow those also because we just enjoy them in general. Like Melanie did Ready or Not. Dom does her music. Did you see that did you watch the concert that she did?
Yes, I watched it with Alexis. She had bought it and we FaceTime and watched it together.
It was so good.
Oh, amazing.
It was such a good concert.
Put out that album, Nom, please.
Please. Oh, I would listen to that on repeat.
Or like the sheet music, like for like obviously like.
Can I learn how to play it?
I would love to learn a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Like on the guitar, like I'm down.
That'd be good. And then Kat has like 2 other shows that she's on, and I think there's more at some point. Do you watch any of the shows Kat's on?
I watch both of them. Good. I'm so excited for season 7 of For the Good Witch.
I was talking to you about this before. I haven't watched season 6 yet because it's not out on Netflix and stuff, so I've been like waiting.
Yeah, my mom's a huge Hallmark junkie, and so am I. So we'll have Hallmark days where we sit and we watch like 8 Christmas movies in one day, or like we'll watch a show. So my mom was watching a show with my sister, but it wasn't like Hallmark, it was something different. But I told her like we should watch The Good Witch together, and so when it would show up, we would watch it. And, I mean, it was just really good. Having Elise on there too.
I know she's on that season too. When I found that out, I was like, even more reason to watch this.
She did so good. I love both of their characters too. And
yeah, because don't they like work together in the show?
They did. And their characters, like what they do, like they're just so good together. And I would really love for them to work on something else too together, because like I would. Just their chemistry alone on TV, and then having that kind of friendship, just like with 2 different fandoms, but at this like having the same kind of like vibe for both of their fandoms, like they just have a really nice friendship, and I think they should do more stuff together.
I absolutely 100% agree on that one. I'd love to see them and stuff together. And then Working Moms, love that show. Danny Kind's in that show. Varun's been in that show. I was like, that show in general is all around really good.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
And then I love Danny Kind. Just
Danny fucking Kind, man.
Her character in that too, just
so good. So good. She tweeted the other day about her son who's in kindergarten, and they asked this question: would you want to face a really giant ant or a really small giraffe? And she's like, this is Wynonna Earp. We don't remember the conversations about.
I asked the same question about would you rather fight some raptors or a goose?
Like it's like, and then there's the horse one. It's like it's like a horse-sized goose or 100 goose-sized horses.
Raptors.
Yeah, and they like switch, and I was like, what the hell is this? Who asked this question? Who started this?
So
because you have lit a fire that you cannot put out.
It was so funny. I love that con so much.
I love rewatching cons.
Me too.
And I'm so glad that Galaxy Con is going to do a free panel that you can watch.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I think I'm busy that day, which makes me sad because I really want to watch it. But like,
someone will probably record it and put it on YouTube.
I'm gonna wait for it. Someone will record it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, finally, like, get a con that'll do like a free panel. Like, are you kidding me? Thank you.
I know Earp cons eventually put out their panels.
I mean, they put them out a little later, but like they did, and they put them out.
So those are always available for people to watch if you want to find some good content.
Yeah, those are fun.
All right, so fandom is a big fandom, and lots of stuff goes on within it. Let's think. What are your hopes for 4B? What do you want to happen? And this could be anything. Doesn't have to be a wedding, obviously, but just anything in general.
I would love. No, I'm just kidding.
I actually don't want them to get married. No. That's the last thing I want.
Things and walk away. But for me personally, I don't want to see a wedding in the back half of the book. I know. Here's why I say.
Explain yourself.
I just feel like it'd be really rushed. And I don't want them to rush something we've been asking for.
You want them to do it right.
I want them to take their time with it. And I feel like for Emily, if the show was ending, obviously this was a big thing, she would, obviously there'd be a wedding there.
We're going to talk about stuff coming back in a little bit, because I've seen some things, not for sure yet, but we'll talk about stuff. So keep going.
But I'd really like to, I really want my Wynonna and Doc to make up whatever happens. Please. I hate
because the end of 406. God, I don't like to think about that, so I just push it in the back of my head.
That never happened. That's an episode, like, that's a 404.
Episode 407, we're just gonna rewind and fix everything that went wrong.
Oh, please. But and it took so long to get them saying that they would want to redo the proposal, and I'm just like glad that they kind of actually like fully like did a real one. Like, it just is really nice.
Yeah.
I cried.
It's a beautiful scene.
I lost breath and passed out on the floor. I was like in Arizona when I saw it. My friend's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like,
"No, I'm not okay."
But I was just like, I want to see them talk about their problems, because I feel like them hiding it is killing me. I can't do it anymore. I will hit up the writers and tell them to fix whatever's going on, because this is not okay. And I don't like confrontation, or I do like confrontation. I don't like conflict.
It makes for good TV, but I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it here. Take it out.
Yeah.
Find a different show, please.
Rewrite the show. Rewrite it.
Give me a whole different plot line here. But I would really like to see them fix their problems, and obviously I want to know where Calamity is at. Good night, this poor cat.
Where's Calamity Jane? What's Nicole up to, man?
Where's Robin? Where is
Robin? Where is Robin? This is the most important thing.
Where is he at?
Where's he at? Jeremy said he's fine, but like, is he really? Because he's not here.
Exactly. And then what else? Oh, what's gonna happen with Cleo now that it's just Cleo? Cocaine Cleo. I want to know what she has in store for whatever's happening, because for Wynonna is something that was like bred into her, because it wasn't just like Chrissy where they were like, oh, they went to high school together and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This was like something that she was
Earp thing. There's history.
And so, yeah, it was something she was taught at a young age and grew up saying.
Brainwashed.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have ended up like that. It wasn't for ma'am.
But I would like to see what Cleo has in store. What Rachel's gonna do, because
we haven't gotten any of like the Valdez from the comics in Rachel yet.
Yeah.
Like that stuff hasn't come out. Like we know about the history of the Mayan warrior princess.
The Mayan Xena warrior
stuff. So I would agree with, I think they should do stuff with Rachel, and I think it should relate more to that. And the jacket. The jacket needs to come back.
I also feel like I know Waverly's been asking, she wants to know about what happened in those 18 months. I mean, we all do want to know what happened.
Flashback episode.
Give me it all.
It's like whatever episode in season 2 where Wynonna like goes back in time and like finds out about like Bobo and stuff like that, and stuff like that. Like they need to do another one of those, except to do it with like Waverly figuring out Nicole's stuff, you know?
Yeah, and obviously the 407 is going to be our iconic Win-Hot episode.
Yes.
Why not?
I have what I want for that episode specifically.
Do you call it Win-Hot or Why Not?
More recently, it's been Why Not?
Yeah.
I think I agree with Kat and Mel on it fits their relationship very well.
Yeah.
In the saying, but I'm used to saying when hot that I kind of do a mix of both.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how I'm talking about it.
Yeah. I hope that Nicole, I feel like Nicole's going to open up more to Wynonna for first. Just, I feel like they have a relationship that is a little, obviously it's way different than what Waverly and have.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'll be a lot easier for her to open up to Wynonna just solely because their relationship is way different from the
Yeah, I think because Nicole had made that deal with Margot to get Waverly out, and the actual deal is that once they come back, geez, I can't think. Nicole would bring Doc, because actually Margot, for some reason, Margot actually doesn't want the Earp. She specifically wants Doc first, which was very interesting. But so that was part of the deal, was to bring Doc to Margot, and Margot was gonna kill Doc. So I think Nicole's really scared to explain to Waverly that situation, and I think, she doesn't want to. This will not happen. Lose Waverly over the situation and what had gone down. Where I think Wynonna has been through much and has made so many mistakes in her life, where Wynonna's a little bit more understanding of it, and I think because their relationship is just a friendship. I mean, it's a very meaningful friendship and stuff like that, but it's not obviously a relationship like Way Hot is. That I think it's, like you said, it's easier for Nicole to talk to Wynonna about it.
Because it's like
407.
Obviously, they're getting married, so it'd be like her sister.
Yeah, it's gonna be her sister-in-law.
But like, I feel like it'd be easier to like for her just because she's really never had that. Like, if we think about that, she's really never had like family figures. So this is obviously like their family in a sense, but like her seeing like, oh, like best friend, like that type of thing. And so like,
I love that scene.
I do too. It's just yay. Yay. Finally.
Yay. Never had a best friend.
Yay. She said it first. You can't take that back. So, but I just, yeah, I mean, such like, I mean, I would consider like my relationship with my sisters like Nicole and Wynonna.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that. Like it's not so much of a like a Wynonna and Waverly because I'm not really like that with them. I'm more like kind of.
I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm more a friend. Like I love my sisters. Like obviously, I would do anything.
It's not super protective.
Yeah, I'm not. I like that they need to learn how to protect themselves, but I also like will be there to beat somebody up if it needs to be. Like, just send me the location. We're just gonna talk with the person. Exactly. I'll have my bat in my hand and we're good to go. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're like obviously like from one of my obviously being the oldest, it's a lot. Their sister, like I know they had like a conversation with that panel that they had with Kevin about they don't know if they're doing the sistering right, and I'm like, for someone who has 3 siblings, kind of yes and kind of no, because I definitely wouldn't act like I'm not very affectionate with my sisters like that. Mm-hmm. But
like, I know like sibling relationships, like every single one is different. Like you're never gonna find like specifically your relationship within a TV show always between like siblings in a show, like because Wynonna and Nicole obviously aren't really actual siblings. Yeah. But like for a lot of people, like you do see Waverly and Wynonna's relationship, and I think it has meaning for a lot of people, whether it's through the sibling thing or not, and stuff. But I think some people do kind of confide in that relationship and relate to it a little bit, where I don't, because I'm the younger of the two. So and we're a few years apart. So where Wynonna and Waverly, actually they might be the same.
They're about 6 years apart from each other in the show.
6 years, which that makes it way different. Because like me and my sister are like 3 years, so closer in age, but still very different. Mm-hmm. Like it's enough where we aren't like super close, but we aren't super far apart. Yeah. So we're independent of each other, but we still care for each other. We still love each other very much, and we joke with each other, kind of that friendship kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Where I think with Wynonna and Waverly, because they're so far apart, and with how their childhood went when Willa was kidnapped and Ward died, that Waverly definitely was more of, kind of had to be like a mother figure for Waverly growing up. And I think that's where that kind of affectionate relationship that they have comes from. Mm-hmm. Because Waverly is so much younger and so much of like a baby to Wynonna.
Yeah. But I feel like if, like, obviously I would hope that would never happen to anybody. But if that happened to me, like being a little older, but like I'm not too, like obviously I'm like 4 years, that's about the longest I have with my youngest sister is 4. And so I just feel like a lot of like, I feel like a mix of like Willa and Wynonna and Waverly. And no one admits to being the Willa, you know. But yeah. I will admit to being the Willa sometimes. I'm a little like that. I could be a little rude sometimes. I try not to be, but it also just, they get on my nerves. Mm-hmm. So if I could strangle them, I could, but I'm not going to. So when she said that no one admits to being the Willa, and I was like, I'm a little bit on a Willa side, just a little bit. There's not a lot, just a little. But I definitely have a mix of all 3. I definitely feel more connected to Waverly just because we're a little closer in age in the show. Like when she started out, she's 21, and mm-hmm. I'm 20. So I turned 21 in a few months. Yeah. But, so I was like, oh, that, yeah. I mean, obviously she's the youngest, but definitely connected to her a little more, just mm-hmm. her personally. But yeah, I definitely feel like my relationship with my sisters is more of why not? Let's say, I feel like I should start saying it. Definitely feels more natural to say why not.
Yeah, it's for some reason like it's easier, and
when hot just is too close to why not.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Okay, and then another question regarding the back half of season 4. Mm-hmm. Since you're kind of hoping for a wedding in season 5, how would you think season 4 would end? Obviously, we don't know what's happening in season 4 because we don't know who the villain is anymore because Mama and Holt are both dead. Mm-hmm. We don't know where Cleo is. Where's Eve? I think Eve should come back is another thing.
That'd be a good one.
Right? Yeah. And then, so like, where are you hoping the season kind of wraps up without a wedding?
I know this is going to sound so cliche.
Go for it.
I would really like, I know they have love for each other. Come on. I just really like Wyndock as a couple. I would really.
Oh, I agree.
Just say I love you. I know you want to. Just say it. Just please. Anything. But
like they've never like committed to each other in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, they've kind of had their off and on kind of things, but like to fully be together, I'd like to see that also.
I would really like just for them to admit their feelings for each other at least. And obviously, like with everything going on, it'd be very interesting for them to be in a relationship at the time, or whatever is gonna happen. But I would really just like to see them at least just admit their feelings for each other, which I know it's possible. People, come on, it's possible. I know you have it in you. I know you do. But that, I feel like that would be a good closer for me, and I feel like that would be like, oh yay, finally, that's nice. And just they've been through so much. I mean, obviously with Alice, Bolshar and all that, but definitely would really like to see that relationship kind of grow a little more. But yeah, that would be my hope.
What if Alice came back?
Oh please, they go find Alice together, yay.
No, well, because like I'm gonna skip ahead to the next 2 episodes. Rosita comes back, and Rosita reveals to Wynonna in 406 that she was only taking Alice because she had a buyer. Who's that buyer? The Clantons. So we know the Clantons were in purgatory before because they were going to buy Alice. So anyways, but with the year and a half, because after season 3, I'm thinking she's a year or so, if we do the math correctly.
Yeah, then almost 2, right around.
We have a year and a half after that, so she's like 2, 2.5, 3.
Yeah.
You know, and she wasn't taken by Black Badge because Perry, who helped put her in protection, is not Black Badge. Also, where does he work for? Where is she being kept? Mystery we have not solved.
Yep.
Come on, guys.
Get it together.
So, like, Alice is, like, kind of toddlerish age. Yeah. What's she been up to?
Yeah. And, you know, even if she does, you think, I wonder if she'll remember. Like,
what if she has some, like, superpower?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
Like, Wynonna's the heir. Doc is, I mean, he wasn't a vampire then when they, but, like, he was.
She's giving me Renesmee vibes.
Yeah. Okay, this was the thought in my head. Because I was like, what if, like, she, like, grows up super fast? Like, she has, like, that kind of thing, like Renesmee from Twilight, and to where she's, like, older now?
Yes.
And, like, that would freak Wynonna and Doc out because they wouldn't know how to react because, like, you were just a baby, like, a couple years ago. Like, I gave birth to you, like, 2 years ago. What happened? And so for that and to, like, explore kind of Alice and, like, that'd be super cool.
And I see it, like, even on, like, Instagram, like, I see a lot of the role play pages will do, like, they'll, like, have their kids and, like, some people, I see the Alice ones a lot, and I'm just like, it's weird seeing her as an adult.
I have a confession.
Oh, please, do share.
So if you don't know, on TikTok, Rami, who's Waves Hot, and then Mercedes and Angie and a few others started doing role play accounts. I joined them.
Did you really?
Yes.
Wow, yes.
I am Jeremy.
For real?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I know. I don't know. I was like, because I was talking with Mercedes about it, and I was like, what if Nedley had an Instagram? Because I find that so funny in my head.
We talked about that too.
Yeah.
What if Nedley had an Instagram?
Yeah, I find that so funny. And then, so Mercedes and I were talking, and she's like, well, we don't have a Jeremy. And Jeremy's obviously more of a present character in the show. And so I was like, okay, I'll be Jeremy. So now I'm Jeremy.
I love that. Yes. And I totally want someone to take up, like, a Nedley spot, though.
Yeah, and we have, like, a group chat and everything that continues the role playing.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
It's insane. I wake up every morning and there's like 100 messages and I have to roll through and I'm like, oh crap, what's happening? It's insane. We really commit to this.
Oh, definitely. I feel like you kind of would have to, just to, like, you would have to, like, communicate with one another what you're going to post, what you're going to say, like, your captions and everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so weird. I wasn't prepared for it at all.
Oh, I bet. I don't think anybody's prepared for any of that.
I came into this already set up, and I jumped in. I was like, oh, this is what's going on. Okay.
I love that, though, because it just connects with a lot of the Earpers a little, like, you guys are just talking all the time. I think it's really cool. So
yeah. And okay, so where was I going? Because we were talking about so we know 4B is coming out sometime in spring.
Yeah.
Which is soon. We don't have a specific date yet, but spring. We're close. And then somewhere, I found this on Twitter because there's some article thing somewhere, and there's one about like season 5 airing October 10th. That is not official date. Don't take that for truth. Another thing I found was that like IDW, because the whole thing with the issue about getting the show back was money, because IDW like self produces and pays for everything. So it was all about kind of getting the money to do it. So I read this thing where apparently IDW had taken out a bunch of money to do seasons 4 and 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they could have the loan money to do another season.
Yeah.
So I'm still very hopeful for 5.
You know, I would really like to see a season 5. Like, truthfully, I would really like to see a season 5. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
And I've come to that conclusion, and I think part of it is because we're in the middle of season 4. I think it would be very different, kind of like what happened between seasons 3 and 4 with the fight for Wynonna, where we're left at the end of the season with a cliffhanger and to get a show canceled, because that has happened multiple times before with many shows. And so that's where I'd kind of be like, we need a season 5, and I'd be very invested in getting it back if we were in that situation, but we're not, and we haven't finished 4 to where, like, how is season 4 gonna end? How is it gonna wrap up? What's gonna happen? Because we know absolutely nothing. Because there's a time jump between 4A, 4B a little bit because the seasons changed and stuff. So, like, how is that going to play out? Because there is even more changes to season 4 because of COVID and them having to change filming schedules and stuff. So I think a lot is playing into 4B, and I think with how 4B goes is going to influence what happens with season 5.
And I don't know. And there's shows out there that don't get, like, even like they'll have a first season, they won't get a second. Like, I see a lot of shows that they try their hardest and they won't. Like, I think it was Katie Keene or something like that. It was on the CW.
Yeah, they only got one season.
They only got the one season. And
that was like a spinoff of Riverdale, wasn't it?
And it was really sad to see that, because I mean, for Riverdale just to keep going, I love Riverdale, but
I have weird feelings about Riverdale.
I agree. I just didn't think they needed to make a season 4. But
it's so weird because, like, you'd think with how well Riverdale was, like, Katie Keene would do well.
But it didn't.
But it didn't.
And then Supergirl ending.
No. We
won't talk about that. We won't talk about that.
If Supercorp doesn't happen in season whatever this is, so I will scream. If this doesn't happen, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I know all of the writers and everybody who produces the show knows about Supercorp and knows that we want it.
Even, like, Katie even said, like, why not? The fans want it, let's give it to them.
Exactly. And I think all of Katie's characters are a little bit gay anyways, so just make another one.
A little bit of a gay vibe here. I don't know about y'all.
From every single character.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't understand how that happens with her.
It's Katie.
Oh, funny. Katie's the gay one, like, Katie in real life.
All of all of Bree's characters too. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's just them.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I just said, like, there's a lot to look forward to, and lots of anticipated things, and kind of on the edge of my seat until 4B comes out. I need a specific date, okay?
When do you think, like, I know everyone's like spring, but, like, when specifically? Like, you don't have to give like a date, but, like,
okay, so
what month specifically do you think
spring? If we're gonna get technical here, spring starts March 21st ish, around there.
March 21st is the spring equinox. So
the what?
Yeah. I don't know. I had a conversation with the group chat I'm in on Twitter too, and we had talked about it. They're asked, like, a month, what month do you guys think? And I said, like, end of March, beginning of April.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that, and then when does spring end? April, May, June?
June.
I think that's too late.
June 21st is the first.
Yeah, I think June is too late.
I think May's kind of pushing it, in my opinion.
I also agree. I think March, April would be the time.
Yeah, and I just think May is really pushing it. like just the start of May, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, you guys hinted that it was going to be spring and it was almost the end of spring. Like, it's now you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out.
I think that's a good time too, because I think, now that I'm thinking about it, I think they might have done it purposely in spring because of the time jump and the season change.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Because that's when they shooted last time.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that's when they were shooting, was like kind of spring, summerish. So it makes sense to have like the same time outside as it is in the show.
Yeah.
You know? So is that the reason? Maybe not. I don't know. But it would make sense.
Definitely.
And so yeah. And then I had a thought in my mind and I lost it.
It'll hit you sometime. It'll come at a random time in the day.
Exactly. Like, it always, that happened to me once. I was going to ask my mom to buy me something and I forgot what it was. And then I figured it out when I was using it. Like I needed like toilet paper or whatever. I needed more like wet wipes. And I'm in the bathroom. I was like, oh, that's what I needed to ask for.
I'm at school and I meant to tell my professor something and I just like leave them all the way home and it's the next day. That's what I meant to tell him. Yeah. There it is.
Exactly. Yeah. No, so yeah. And then what am I thinking? I had something in my mind, but I'm gonna go off of something else. I wanted to ask this earlier. So for a wedding that will happen whenever it happens, Nicole, Earp, or Waverly Hot?
Waverly Hot, hands down. Sorry.
I'm glad everybody I've talked to about this is on the same page. I can't get rid of that name, first of all. There's too much history with Hot that we have, like the name and the family in general, that we have not gotten into, because there is a history with them in purgatory and stuff like that. So I think we need to get into that, and I don't want to get rid of the name.
Yeah. And I think it'll be a fresh start for Waverly too.
And Waverly has grown so much and changed so much that I feel like she's really growing into herself, and this is her new thing, her new self, where she wants to be in life.
Mm-hmm. Even her proposing, setting that foot, and like being
like she's in control.
She's ready for it.
Yeah.
She wants to do it. So I think her changing her name to Hot would be like, I'm done with this chapter of my life and I'm ready to start new.
I wonder like Nicole's thought process about changing a name, like would she consider changing it to Earp? Like was that her consideration, and where it was like, no. Yeah. No. I remember no, because then she'd probably quote like when they met, and it's like, when you gave me that card, your business card, and it said Hot, I said, of course it's that one. That's what it is. You're Hot, your last name's Hot. It makes sense. We're not getting rid of it. Because now I want to be a Hot, because I'm hot too.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be right for Nicole to take Earp. Like, no offense, but like her name has so much behind it too.
Yeah.
So I feel like their name is, I know, such a curse.
It's weird for me to think. It's weird for me to say. Yeah. Like Nicole Earp, like
Nicole Rayleigh Earp. That just doesn't sound right.
It does not roll off the tongue the same way.
Ugh, I don't like it.
Stop weird.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I don't get why people are like mixing it too. They're like Hot Earp or like Earp Hot. No, guys, it's one of like
just one or the other. But there's only one correct one.
Yeah, it's Hot, obviously.
Yeah, it is.
It just fits better, especially for their journey together and just her.
I agree.
Yeah, I just think it would fit better for her.
Oh, so that's what I remembered it now.
See, I told you you'd come in.
I remember it now. Okay, so Martina had posted that she did ADR for 412, which is our last episode of 4. The title of this episode is Lock. Do you have thoughts?
I know I see it on Twitter, everyone's like, lock, wedlock. And I'm like, but like.
I've seen that too. I'm not fully buying that.
I'm not buying it either. I'm not really sure what it would mean. I kind of would really like, I know this is a far stretch into the deep end. Like,
go.
This probably won't happen, but I would really like Nicole to adopt. Rachel. That would be really nice. Just
make it official.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how long they really have been, together, stuck in the house, but like, just everything that they've been through for that amount of time, I would really like that, like, her just to kind of, I would really like you to be a part of this family, like, officially. Like, that would I really like that.
Then would Rachel I think Rachel should keep her last name in general because of the history of the character in the comics.
I agree. I definitely don't think she would change it just for her history. And I agree with you, like with the comics and everything. I don't think it would fit right.
Yeah.
But I definitely do. I would really like just that. And I mean, for me, like personally, I think it would be really nice to see it too.
Mm-hmm.
Just having like that happen to me too. So I would really like to see that.
I agree. That'd be such a like good scene to watch.
That would make me cry. Like, even if like I like just thinking about like, oh yeah,
like that gives me vibes of like the proposal.
Yeah,
it's like such like an emotional scene. Like, that's so good. Like her asking like, will you be my mom officially?
It was really
my real mom's dead, so can I replace her with you?
Yes, please.
I feel like she would make that comment though. She's like, since I don't have a mom anymore, can you be it?
Yeah. And I mean, it fits.
I think it would. And I think that's such like
family too.
I feel like that would, and I find that really interesting because I think it would give another like character arc for Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Like coming into this and being included and figuring herself out now, and like in this new place and stuff. Like for her to have a character arc like that would be really nice.
I agree. I think that's something I would really enjoy. Like, that'd be a really nice kind of closing episode, to be honest.
That would.
But obviously, probably won't get that. This show always leaves us with cliffhangers.
You don't know.
But if it is really the last season, like if we don't get a season 5, I feel like that'd be a really good closing. Everything.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we're gonna end here.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for coming on. This is great talking with you again.
Yes.
You'd like to plug your social medias and stuff?
Sure. I don't know if anybody wants to follow me. You're welcome to. I do. I tend to be more active on my TikTok. What is my TikTok?
You gotta remember it.
Sometimes you do. My TikTok never tends to stick with me. My TikTok is Seraiah Seibert. So
the name you see on the screen here at the bottom corner.
But it's all in lowercase. So, and usually all my social media handles tend to just be my name. My Instagram is Seraiah03, so it's spelled like that, and it's lowercase as well. I don't know if anybody wants to follow me on that. You're welcome to. My Twitter, I do use my Twitter a lot. What is my Twitter? My Twitter is also my name, Seraiah_Seibert, and it's all lowercase. I tend to keep it kind of easy for when people call me.
That's good.
And I want to, my Snapchat. I'm not gonna put. I guess I can, but
if you want to, I would.
You guys are welcome. I love Snapchatting people. If you guys want to talk to me on Snapchat, I'm on that all the time. You can hit me up, DM me on Instagram, you can text me on Snapchat, go for it. You just can't DM me on TikTok. And I don't know how to fix that, but I would really like to fix that. My friend just fell. Sorry. My Snapchat is just Sir39. So it's the first 3 letters of my name, and they're all lowercase. I keep things very easy for people because they tend to be like, your name is just so difficult. I'm like, okay, it's really not. So I tend to keep things easy. So yeah. Yeah. You're welcome to DM me. I would love to talk about anything, everything. I'm a very I gotta get rid of this alarm clock. It's my TARDIS alarm clock. I don't know how to fix it either. So
that's funny.
For like 6 or 7 times like this, but I just let it ring because it won't do it anymore. If I hit the snooze button, it'll go again.
Oh.
So I let it ring.
Alrighty, well, thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed talking about this Wynonna everything and stuff like that.
This was really fun.
If I end up doing Supergirl for this podcast, welcome to join for that too.
Yes. Also, Once Upon a Time, or not Once Upon a Time, that show too, but One Day at a Time too. That's my show.
I have not watched that show yet.
If you watch One Day at a Time, I recommend it to people. That show is very entertaining.
All right. I have that and a couple other shows I've been trying to watch.
So good.
So, let's talk to you later. See you later.
Yes, definitely.
All the good stuff.
Yes.